Is it just me, or is the Pixel 8 Pro too overhyped these days? I got the regular Pixel 8 here, and I believe that it's like 90% of the phone that the Pro version is for $300 less than that. Today we're gonna be talking about what this little guy here has to offer and why it's the better deal for at least 90% of people. Let's dive in. Starting off with the build quality, I believe Google has improved their design a lot. The phone is really comfy to hold, and it's a bit on the heavier side at 187 grams, however it's super compact while offering a decently big screen for its size. The back is glass, which is a magnet for fingerprints unfortunately, but I don't really mind that, because I like using cases anyway. The phone is IP68 dust and water resistant and has the Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, but I'd still put a screen protector if I were you, and maybe some decent shockproof case as well. This year's Pixel 8 has a way better screen than last year's 7 series, which is both brighter and bigger. You're getting a great 6.2-inch OLED panel capable of 120Hz refresh rate and up to 2000 nits in brightness. Still not as much as some Xiaomi phones, but surely bright enough for even the sunniest days outside. Not that there are any where I live right now, but that's another topic. The resolution is 1080 by 2400 pixels, which is plenty for a smaller screen like this, and you can comfortably use it with one hand, no problem at all. The colors are vibrant and it's an overall super pleasant experience to watch any type of content on this device, but you would expect that from the $750 price tag. Yes, the phone is not one of the cheapest ones, but it's definitely worth it. And now let's continue with the speakers test. Running on the stock Android 14, the Pixel 8 is super smooth, and I just love how much thought they have put into making your experience as good as possible. Also, you're gonna get 7 years of software updates until 2030, so if you decide to raise a kid until 7 years old, it will be able to make fun of your old brick from 2023. Like I mentioned in the title of this video, I haven't used a smarter smartphone, if you know what I mean. Everything just works seamlessly with it, from the style of your home screen and lock screen with adaptive icons and wallpapers to the AI camera that lets you do a ton of amazing optimizations to your photos and videos, like literal magic. Even the battery adapts according to your usage to last longer, so that's amazing. And speaking about the battery, it's a respectable 4575 mAh and should last you at least one full day. In my case it lasts me a day and a half, kind of, but it depends on how I use it, and while the phone doesn't offer one of the fastest charging at 27 watts, I find my phone to be fully charged in about an hour and 20 minutes, and what's even better is that you also have an 18-watt wireless charging and reverse wireless charging if you need it. When it comes to performance, this year both the Pixel 8 and the 8 Pro are powered by the Tensor G3 chip, which makes it an even better deal for the regular Pixel 8 because you're gonna be saving yourself some $300 or something like that while getting the same performance. This chip is not one of the most powerful, but it compensates that with amazing AI capabilities and optimizations which run out through the whole device, so I don't think that you're gonna ever feel that the phone is slow by any means. At least for me it's super smooth, and when it comes to gaming things aren't so great and you will be getting some frame rate drops on heavier games like Genshin Impact for example, but now that I have tested a few games, most of them run just fine, so it's by no means a slow chip. It's just that it's not top of the class like the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for example. The gaming mode is also not something exceptional because it needs a lot of optimizations. I know, right? The gaming mode needs optimizations. And it doesn't support every single game, which is a big shame, but I hope that in a few patches they're gonna be able to fix that. And until then I would just advise you to not play on the highest settings. Personally I figured out that if I just go into the Genshin settings and lower the shadows, everything just becomes a lot more smooth, so I bet that this is the same case for every single other game. And the performance is actually similar to the Xiaomi 13T, and I have made a video about that phone as well, you can go and check it out if you want. But on the upside, the Pixel 8 is so efficient with its CPU that it barely gets warm even after a long gaming session or heavier benchmarks being done on the device. So to sum it up, the gaming performance is good enough for all of the casual players out there, but if your primary goal is to play games all the time, then maybe the Pixel 8 is not for you. And this leads us to the reason why you should get the regular Pixel 8 instead of the Pro model, the camera department. So the camera here is where this phone really shines, and what's more interesting is that there is little to no difference between the photos and videos taken on the regular compared to the Pro version of the phone. And yes, you are getting an extra telephoto lens on the Pixel 8 Pro that is frankly great, but is it worth it to spend a couple of $100 more only for that? I don't think so. I found the main 50 megapixel camera sensor to be exceptional, taking sharp photos with great high dynamic range, vivid but also accurate colors and overall pleasant images in absolutely every situation. Even in low light, this camera is able to produce detailed shots. The AI camera just knows exactly what you want to do and tries its best to get you that perfect shot. And if it doesn't do that exactly as you want it, then there are a bunch of tools to fix virtually anything later on. The ultra-wide 12 megapixel camera is also great, and while there can be some distortion around the edges, it produces amazing shots under the right conditions. Unfortunately, like any other ultra-wide camera, it struggles a lot more in low-light situations, so you might want to use that primary sensor during the night or just stick to night side. The selfie camera is 10.5 megapixels and also doesn't disappoint with its big field of view, and while the selfies look a little bit soft sometimes depending on the light, I can't really complain about it. It just gets the job done most of the times, so I think that you'll be pretty happy with it. When it comes to video recording, the Pixel 8 can do both 4K at 30 and 60 FPS on all of its cameras and offers that sweet HDR mode if you are shooting in 30 FPS, but if you're shooting in 60 FPS you're gonna just have a regular video. And in my opinion, both the colors, the details and stabilization are pretty great. You will always like the end result, especially if you are viewing this on an HDR monitor or the phone itself. Just make sure to not use the ultra-wide camera during the night unless there are plenty of city lights, otherwise you won't like the result too much. The video will most likely turn out grainy. But overall, I would say that this phone takes the best photos and videos I've seen, comparable to the likes of Samsung S23 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, with the iPhone being probably a little bit better when it comes to video, but the Pixel is following it right behind. And do let me know if you would like me to make a detailed camera review of the Pixel 8, because I'm not covering everything here and there is a lot to experiment with, like the astrophotography mode and the long exposure or the time-lapse. All of them great features to take a look into. Alright guys, this wraps up today's video and I hope that you really like the Pixel. I think that I'm gonna keep this one for quite a long time. And don't forget to poke that little like button down there, subscribe to my channel and comment down below. I would really love to hear your thoughts on this phone and on the video itself. So that would be all from me. Talk to you in the next one. Bye!